Hello students, welcome to English class. I'm your English teacher, Mr. Oza, and it's time for us to take a look at classwork number 82. The novel that we are reading here in term 4 is Siddhartha, and the author is Mr. Hermann Hesse. Today we are going to read chapter 8. This chapter is called By the River. So let's get into some directions. These are the same directions that you're used to throughout this unit. Thank you for already looking at the predictions and questions. Next step is to watch this video. Thank you for doing that. After this video is over, you're going to read the chapter. The PDF, as usual, is linked into your Google Doc. Then you're going to write down 2 main ideas. You're going to create your own questions, 2 of them to be exact, and you're going to answer those questions as well. And then you've got 1 open response question to do. Please make sure that you use a quote from the text when doing that open response. So let's go over the pictures that you've already taken a look at. Here they are. First one, we've got Siddhartha. We've got his nice jewelry. He's got a cool necklace on. He's got nice clothes. He's got the stylish mustache. And he's back at the river. So he left the city that he had spent like 15 years in, right? He was dating Kamala. He was working with Kamaswamy. He was making all kinds of money. And he was essentially the richest person in the whole city. He goes back to the river. If you remember from last class, we talked about how that river represents balance, a balance in lifestyle between the spiritual side of the river and the material side of the river. He was so deep over here on this material side of the river, all the way over here. Now he's wandering back towards the river, and that actually symbolizes that he is moving back towards a lifestyle of balance. He's moving, like literally, you see him looking at his reflection here in the water, and when he kind of approaches the river, that represents him finding a more balanced lifestyle, right? Once again, this river that he crosses and that he's right back at now represents the idea of balance in life. All right, he's disgusted with himself. He actually spits at his reflection in the river. He doesn't like what he has become after, 15 years of just building up money and money and money. He's so disgusted with himself, in fact, that he tries to drown himself. It's a sad moment in the story. His kind of natural survival instinct kicks in, and he finds himself washed up on shore in his, soaked, drenched clothing, and a visitor comes by and notices him, and it is his old friend Govinda. We remember Govinda from the beginning of the story. He and Siddhartha left the village where they were practicing Hinduism. They lived with the Samanas for 3 years out in the forest, and they even met the Buddha together. And so Siddhartha left the Buddha, did not really get convinced by the Buddha's teaching, while Govinda, his friend, he loved the Buddha's teachings, and he wanted to become a permanent follower of the Buddha, and so that's exactly what he did. And so Govinda actually sees Siddhartha here by the river, and the 2 of them have a long conversation. It's a bit of a reunion for them. All right, back to the meme generator. Siddhartha looks at the river at the end of the chapter and basically says, is this my enlightenment? Remember, enlightenment is a word that we've gone over throughout the unit. Enlightenment meaning, satisfaction, accomplishment, like a feeling that we should all be striving for, a feeling of being, satisfied with your situation in life. He's just almost mesmerized by this river. Remember, I mentioned earlier in the video, the river represents a balanced, happy, calm lifestyle. And so he's looking at the river saying, is this my enlightenment? Like something kind of puts him almost in a trance, like it puts him in a happy and kind of enlightened state where he's like, there's something magical about this river. Is this my enlightenment? And then the next chapter will be about him, developing his lifestyle and living by the river. All right, I think I've given you a good enough preview for chapter number 8. Now it's time for you to take a look at the chapter and write down 2 main ideas in your document. After that, you're going to create your own questions and then, of course, answer them. A level 1 question, a level 2 question, and then, do your best to answer your own questions. Final step, as usual, the open response. As I always say, make sure that you use a quote from the novel or anywhere else if you can think of any related thing that you've seen on TV, that you have watched, some kind of movie, some kind of article that you've read. All of that is fine, but the easiest thing to do is to jump back into the chapter and use a quote from the novel. So please make sure that you do that. Just read the rubric. Just follow along the rubric and you will be all set. So today, we're in chapter 8, only a few chapters left, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we'll be done with this book, and then we'll end the unit by writing an essay about what's going to help us achieve our own enlightenment. So that's something to look forward to at the end of our novel Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. So thanks as always for watching. If you all have any questions or any feedback about this class, please do not hesitate to let me know. And as always, everyone, have a great class.